going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shoot this video as a help meet for those who want to know who the fuck I am. Anyway, my name is Baba Yaga, and if you want to know my real name, it's Clifton Nathaniel Thompson, right? Okay, now, let me tell you something about myself here. I grew up in a Pentecostal home. The church I went to believed in music and Jesus set you free and all that shit like that. Okay, now that was where I grew up in, right? Well, when I was 5, I had a dream, and this dream entailed a deity coming to me asking for me to come to him, and I was scared, so I said hell no. Well, after that, my parents got a divorce. Whether or not this had anything to do with it, my parents got a divorce and they moved apart, and we slowly made our way out of the Pentecostal church in Sugar Hill. My dad quit going because they believed that once you're married to that person that you're married to, aka my mom, that you can't get remarried to anybody else because it's God's law. Till death do you part, literally. Alright? So if he dates anybody else, he'd go to hell forever, right? So my dad, being the person he is, he didn't want to deal with that BS no more, and he decided to stop going to church. So that was my first indicator that not everybody has to go to church to be successful or to be happy in their life. Now, my dad stays at home all the time, and just like him, I am a hermit, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, because it's people like us that make the literature that you little asses read, and then you go out there in the world and you make money, and then you discredit everybody. So let me just back this up for a minute. All you people that discredit Zach Black, Thomas Leroy, EA, Koei, Jing is kind of weird, but I will not discredit the man because he's a powerful sorcerer. Behemoth X, all you good old boys and girls too, and the sorceresses. You know. Lisa Corrine, we love you, Lisa. And Thomas, we love all y'all over there. Zach, y'all are a good bunch of people. One of the reasons I made this video. So anyway, back to the story. I was 5, I had the weird dream, my parents got divorced and stuff. I was already very spiritual when I was a little kid and used to see shit all the time, scared the hell out of me, have nightmares. Didn't know a whole lot about the Bible, didn't really care when I was a little kid because I was too young. And today we'll be smoking on the brand new In the Town Wild Run Backwoods cigars. Yeah, they're fucking amazing. They taste like a Tatiana rum. Let me show you that one more time. Backwoods, new in town, wild rum cigar. Anyway, here you go. Here's your hook. So anyway, they got divorced, and my dad quit going to church, and my mom started dating around, and she's just trying to find somebody in her life to spend her life with. This is fine, I understand that. That's cool, whatever. No, really, no ill effects from that, because that's her thing, and I got mine. Now, she started going to churches everywhere and kind of stayed in church, sort of. I went to Awana. I don't know if anybody knows what an Awana is, but it's like a little church camp during the summer and after school that kids go to, and I went to some of that stuff. And eventually, in about 5 or 6 years of that flip-flop through my life with divorce and all that, and going here and there, weekends here and weekends there, and weeks here with my dad and weeks here there with my mom, she finally settled down with a guy named Dempsey, and I had little stepbrothers and stuff, and we went to church at Mount Sylvia Baptist Church for a while, and I will say there was very nice people there, and I love them very dearly because they were all good friends despite being Christian. See, and outside of church, that wasn't their main focus. They were focused on lives and taking care of each other. You know, not just Jesus and shit. So they were legit. Some of them were. And I died in my soul whenever some of them passed away. You know. And I was pallbearer to some of these funerals. So not only was Baba a little boy necromancer that already seen demons and shit, that didn't watch scary movies and shit, so I know it was real. I was pallbearer, and I was around death my whole life, right, integrated right up on it, you know, like deathbeds all the time, funerals all the time, and dead people's hands at funeral homes, putting flowers in it when I worked for the flower shop. I used to make casket pieces at Designs by Lisa in Mount Pleasant, Texas, and used to help with that. By no means was I the main man that did it all, of course not. And Lisa taught me a lot, and in that I learned how to respect the dead. My whole life has been set up perfectly to respect the dead, to learn the meaning and the real truth and the work behind a flower, a fucking flower, a rose you got from your shop. So go to local Designs by Lisa in Mount Pleasant, Texas, and get a fucking bouquet, man. It's worth it. Get it for your ancestors, get it for your wife, it don't matter. It's the point of. It's like I'm saying now. I knew from a young age that I had the abilities, and then I got into the church, and I became influential with speaking. People listened. Whenever I was a teenager, I had people in my class that was a little older than I was, so I had expectations to live up to, damn it. And these boys knew this Bible they had in their hand because they were at church every day since they were kids, in the same church I'm going to now. So in 8 years of going to that church, before it was too far into the going to church there, about 3 of those I spent actually preaching, and learning how to, and learning the Bible really well. I learned in about 3 years fully of that church's, I guess what you call their denominational beliefs, their dogma. I learned that. And I became influential and I became good at it. So good that I had people paying me to come preach. And you know what? That's a surefire way to make money, and I don't do it anymore because I think it's bullshit, because you shouldn't get money for giving information like that. Unless you're putting it in a paper binding, or you're paying for it, you're paying for it. You're not just being given money, free money. You put work into it, and you didn't just go and say, oh, I got a sermon, let me preach for an hour and I'm done, and now here's a $200 check, and you're like, well, fuck that. I mean, it sounds good, but when it's the principle, okay? So, a child, belief in, seeing these things, these dreams, these demons, right? Move on. I'm going to be a preacher. Keep having these nightmares. They never left. Jesus didn't do nothing. Demons are stronger than God could ever be. Why do you think they warn against them in your Bible for? Because even though the Bible, it doesn't speak full truth about what demons are and such, it does warn against them because they'll teach you that all that you're learning is wrong. Plain and simple. So that brings me to where I am now. Whenever I was a kid, grew up as a Christian, strife and disorder in my family because of divorce. My mom remarried a few times, all this bullshit. And then now I'm going to this church. I'm going to become a preacher. I go to a seminary, get off into a bunch of shit and drugs and stuff like I shouldn't have anyway. And you know what? Of working hard and trying to just keep up with the race of life and trying to go to school, I wasn't learning nothing there because some assholes were overcharging me for everything. Even though it was just a paper little book, and even though that the room went up $200 and all these other things, that shit is what kept me out of learning. Some people argued, well, you didn't learn anything, that's why you didn't stay. Oh, I learned plenty. I learned that there were Masons all over that damn place, and that they really wanted you to go to church so that they could have more Masons, which is cool, They wanted you to finish the college to show that you were loyal, that you wouldn't be disloyal to Masonry. And you know what? I would have fucked up a long time ago if I'd have been a Mason, because I flip-flopped a little bit in my life. Why? Because I was confused. Why? Because it wasn't for me. Why? Because I was pretty much forced into it because nobody said either follow Christ in what you think is right or debate following Christ, period. They just said, are you going to go to church or are you going to be a preacher? They didn't give you a way out. That's not right. I tell you all the time, if you don't like what I have on here, get out. It's okay. I'm not going to be a mean ass. I'm just going to tell you, you have the choice to not believe what I have to offer you, which is just free information, okay? Now, like I said, You put your work into something, you put your effort into something, and you make a physical something in your life that it's manifested by your own hand, and you put money signs on that shit. That's what this is all about. From the beginning to end of your life, how can you survive? Are you going to be a sheep? Or are you going to be a wolf? Well, guess what? Both of those get shot down. Okay? Can't be an animal. Can't be a berserker. You have to embody gods. You have to become deity. The reason that I found that I knew in my heart for the longest time that Christianity was wrong is because it mandates that the self is worthless and then tries to also mandate in the same shoes that you're very important and that your soul's worth it. So you need to be saved just to get into heaven. So he created us, called us worthless, and then to give us an entitlement, he asks us to come to him. But it doesn't change our character. It doesn't change our life. Whenever Azazel mandates, he doesn't mandate to do anything. How about that? He doesn't make you do shit. He comes to you and asks you, hey, I'm here. He offers his hand. And then after that, he improves your life. After you start working with him, he will help you to mandate yourself. Because what people don't understand is the fucking Bible is a goddamn cookie cutter bullshit method of trying to help people do better, or to be good, or some shit, or to have better morals, or to control the environment that everyone's in. That's all it is. It was set up to keep you in a spiritual limbo to where you are entrapped, where you can't move along, or there is no forward. There's just the same old, same old. Christians talk about going through the motions. Well, I don't do that in my life anymore, and that's why. It's because that's my life I had. I grew up in Mount Pleasant. I was born in Mount Pleasant, Texas, grew up in Talco, Texas, moved to Quitman with my mom unknowingly at first. My dad got really upset, and then found out that we were moved, and then they had a divorce and all that shit. I ended up being here and there with my mom and dad, flip-flopped around in religion. While I was a Christian and while I was trying to learn how to preach, I had a spirit upon me that says, hey, this isn't you the whole time. When I got back from college, the first thing that happened was I went to a few churches, went to a local church I knew real well with family and everything there. And I was speaking, and then everything just stopped. My brain said, this is it. The God complex left. It was gone. I was like, you know what? This isn't it. So I ended that sermon, and I stopped it right there. I said, I want the usher to come forward and bring the offering plate, and let's have an invitational hymn. Blah, 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 bleep, bleep, blah, 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 bleep, bleep, bleep. And that's how it ended. I walked out of the church, and I never went back in one again. No one decides your fate. Are you born into Satanism? I wouldn't say so. Are you born into Christianity? I wouldn't say so. And I don't mean into a family. I mean, are you born a Satanist? And I wouldn't say so. I'd say that everybody, and this is why the cookie cutter bullshit Bible don't work, and this is why it's bullshit. Everyone's different. Everyone needs special characteristics to accommodate them to make them a better person. Azazel does that. Jesus does not. It gives you a list. You follow it, you act this way, or you are not good. But you're all in heaven, so what you're saying is you created a bunch of people, told them that they're shit, and you tell them that they're good, really, but you can only be the only way, then they get to heaven, so you got a heaven full of shit. That's all I have to say about all that. So anyway, this is Baba Yaga. I wanted to give you guys a short story and a summary of how in the hell I ended up this way and who I am. And if you guys have any more questions, or if you would like to sign up for my book list for the work of the demonic royal blood, Azazel, the Master Key, a e-file. It's an e-book I'm making, and it will have additions added unto it as I see fit. We are in the second edition now. If you would like the second edition or the coming third edition as well, please email us at sellyoursoul2Azazel. That's the number 2. Sellyoursoul2, the number 2, Azazel at gmail.com. Sellyoursoul2Azazel at gmail.com is the email you need to contact to get on the naughty list, which is my book list. It'll be a free ebook. You will not ever have to pay for the ebook. It will always be free. If you want a hardback cover later or a softback cover later, when the edition is full and in its master collection state, when it's ready to be published physically, you will be among the first people to have the copy. I will ship you guys your copies first, and I'm not sure how much the book will be. Probably not very much. I'm only going to count for cost. So anyway, thank you guys very much. This is Baba Yaga, son of Azazel, and until next time, hail to Azazel, hail to Satan, and may the Infernal Legion possess you.